I'm often asked about the topic of slavery, both in the Old Testament and in the ancient Near East. Was there slavery? What was slavery like? Should we even refer to people as slaves, or should we call them servants? Of course, biblical and ancient Near Eastern scholars have dedicated countless papers, articles, and monographs to the topic of ancient law, including identifying and describing slavery in the Bible and in the ancient world. Given the complexities involved in identifying ancient social and legal practices, including slavery, I will try to limit my brief comments to slavery in the Old Testament, identifying only those aspects that are generally agreed upon in the academic community. There are primarily two types of slaves described in the Hebrew Bible: Hebrew slaves and foreign slaves. An Israelite would generally become a slave by selling themselves into slavery, or debt slavery, although there were times that they could be purchased or even be born into slavery. Foreign slaves were often acquired as spoil or plunder during war, but they also could be purchased or born into slavery. Several passages are often referenced in the discussion of slavery in the Hebrew Bible: Exodus 21, Leviticus 25, and Deuteronomy chapters 20 and 21. As an aside, the complexity of the creation of these texts, as well as their editorial history and redaction, should be kept in mind during this discussion. In general, Israelites that fell into poverty and became debt slaves were treated as hired servants. They were not to be treated ruthlessly, as we see in Leviticus 25. There are several ways that Hebrew slaves could be released from their debt slavery. They could buy their way out, they could be redeemed by a kinsman, or they would be released after 6 years or during the year of Jubilee. We see this in Exodus 21 and in Leviticus 25. These laws did not apply to foreign slaves, as they were able to be kept and handed down as inherited property, as we see in Leviticus 25, 44 to 46. Given the status of slaves as property, they could be beaten, even severely, as we see in Exodus 21. However, if a slave were killed as the immediate and direct result of their discipline, they would be avenged, a term that is of course debated as to its precise meaning among scholars. In addition, if the master were to put out an eye or a tooth, the slave was to be set free. Of course, this is only a broad survey of slavery in the Hebrew Bible. For further detail on slavery in the Old Testament, as well as in the wider Near East, see the book History of Ancient Near Eastern Law, edited by Raymond Westbrook, and Debt Slavery in Israel and the Ancient Near East by Gregory Kirikingi.